A $5 tip. That's all it took to ignite a chain reaction that ended in a lawsuit, a lost job, and a public HR nightmare. This is the true story of how a seemingly kind gesture from a manager turned into one of the most unusual, wrongful termination cases in recent years. And no, it didn't happen in a restaurant. The story begins in 2022 at a mid-sized marketing firm in Illinois. Let's call the company Northridge Creative, and the employee involved Emily, a 27-year-old junior account coordinator. Emily had been working at Northridge for just over a year. By most accounts, she was hardworking, quiet, and dependable. One Friday afternoon, her manager, let's call him Dave, asked her to pick up lunch for a client meeting. Emily paid with the company card, delivered the food, and returned the receipt. At the bottom of the receipt, a handwritten tip amount, $5. She didn't think much of it, but someone else did. The following Monday, HR called Emily into a closed-door meeting. She was told that her manager, Dave, had reported her for unauthorized personal gain because the $5 tip had been filled in after the client lunch was delivered. Emily explained she didn't write it. In fact, Dave had personally handed her the receipt with the amount already filled in, but Dave denied it. What followed was a confusing and short investigation. 3 days later, Emily was fired for misuse of company funds. Her final paycheck? Withheld, pending reimbursement review. Emily filed a wrongful termination claim 2 weeks later. Her case argued 3 key points. Retaliation. She had previously filed a complaint about Dave's behavior just 2 months prior. Lack of due process. The company's own HR manual required at least 2 employee interviews and a written warning before termination. Defamation. Dave allegedly told another employee she was stealing from the company. The company pushed back, calling the firing a justified breach of trust. But emails submitted to the court told a different story, showing Dave had, in fact, authorized the tip verbally. And more importantly, that the HR process had been bypassed. The case never went to trial. Northridge Creative settled quietly, reportedly for $42,000, including back pay, legal fees, and a non-disclosure agreement. Dave no longer works at the company. Emily, meanwhile, landed a new role and started sharing her story anonymously online to warn others about how small decisions can have big consequences when power and policy collide. So what can we learn from this? First, always get spending approvals in writing no matter how minor. Second, HR procedures aren't just red tape. When companies ignore them, they expose themselves to legal risk. And finally, sometimes a $5 tip isn't just a tip. It's the trigger for something much deeper.